Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Lazio Lounge. It's gonna be a fast one. Alistair McKenzie's still eating like there's not gonna be food in the next coming days forever. So I'm all alone today, but I thought it was too important to talk about Lazio performance today against Bologna. 3 points, really important for this club, and especially looking what happened with AC Milan drawing against Frosinone and 0-0. Away for AC Milan. Now Lazio's again fourth place, and the table look very good again. So we're gonna talk about a lot of things. Hoping to receive a lot of questions from you if you have about this performance. But I thought it was really important, even because we weren't able to do a podcast after last Lazio match, so I thought it was good to talk about a little bit of Lazio. First of all, I hope you had a very great Christmas day and you're enjoying your Boxing Day and maybe watching Lazio Serie A football. That should be the best way to celebrate, to relax today. And let's start talking about this match. First of all, we have to admit that Bologna is really a weak team. We saw Chievo playing against us. We saw Frosinone as well. I thought that of the three, Bologna, it's the worst team that we saw playing against Lazio. So 3 points are really important. It's always difficult to win away in Serie A, but we also have to consider that Lazio played against Bologna. That probably is the weakest team in Serie A at the moment. I don't know if Simone put an end on Filippo Spella at Bologna's coach. I really don't think it's the manager problem here. I think the players are still terrible, and whichever manager should be there, he cannot do that much difference. But I thought Lazio overall played well. Honestly, I think the match were never in discussion. I honestly don't remember a save from Strakosha. Yes, he touched the ball a little bit, but I don't think he never had to make something a very important stop today. So this tells you really how much Lazio dominated the match today against Bologna. And again, Lazio should have finished the match earlier. The second goal of Lulic arrived at the last minute at 19th, when referee just gave the extra time. So scoring before would have finished the match earlier. And football is a strange sport. Everything can happen. So two goals, it's always good to have two goals of advantage. Like Ibrahim Albeti just tweeted, hope that Mister can play like this always. Luis Alberto and Correa together. I think this is a very good formation for us. I totally agree. I thought we have to say that Luis Alberto is back. The last two matches were probably the best of the season for Luis Alberto. Maybe he's not as fast as last year. Probably he's still feeling a little bit the muscle injury. And I don't know if you noticed in the second half when he got a free kick outside the box. It was 25 meters outside the box. He couldn't get up. I think his left leg was hurting a little bit. I was really terrified because he finally was playing at his level, and the injury at that moment would have been terrible for him. I think he's back, Ibrahim. I really think that we saw another convincing performance of Luis Alberto, and what's more important is how good he is when he's taking the corner kicks. I don't think it's a coincidence that Lazio scores today twice from a corner kick. The first one was a perfect assist for Ramos, and the second one again assist to Ramos and Lulic finishing. So especially in the modern football, free kicks are so much important. They really can make a difference from in a match, and having a player like Luis Alberto that can really create chances from a free kick like he did today can really make a difference. So I think it's really good to have him back. He had a great performance. I have to admit that Correa, especially in the first half, didn't play as well as I was hoping. Now I don't know if he struggled to find the rhythm with Casado, because it was the first time that they were playing with Casado in front and not Ciro Immobile. But it looked like he was picking up going further in the match. And I don't know, guys, what do you think about the substitution when Correa came out? I understand that Bologna, Filippo Inzaghi was trying everything. He put Palacio before, and then afterwards he had even Destro, so Bologna was playing with 3 strikers. So I can imagine that Simone Inzaghi thought that it was good to give a little bit of extra coverage to the defense, taking out Correa, that obviously is a striker, is an attacker, and bring in some extra defender, like he did with bringing in Parolo instead of Correa, and then taking off Milinkovic-Savic and Lukaku. But I was thinking that Correa was playing better in those minutes, especially because, and we said it often, Correa can be really, really dangerous when he has space in front of him. And obviously Bologna was attacking, trying to find the goal and to draw the match, and so Correa could have a lot of chances and a lot of space there to create chances. So, but obviously you have to think of both things. You cannot think only about attacking. You have to think even about defending. And Inzaghi made this decision of bringing in Parolo. Talking about the solution Inzaghi tried today without Ciro Immobile, it was a 3-4-2-1, and I like the fact that he played Milinkovic-Savic in central midfield near Leva instead of maybe putting Parolo there. That would have been a more balanced solution for Lazio. But I thought Milinkovic-Savic played well. Obviously, playing there, he cannot be as dangerous as he could be if he was closer to the other team box. But I thought you can see that he's growing. He's performing better every match. Let's not forget that him and Ciro Immobile were doubtful for today. They both didn't train for a couple of days this week, and so there were some concern about those two players. Ciro Immobile didn't start, while Milinkovic-Savic started the match and then was subbed for Lukaku. So I thought, you can see it two different ways. Lazio played really well, but where does the good performance of Lazio made the difference, and where instead it was the bad Bologna team that helped Lazio play so well? I really thought that that Bologna is a weak team, but honestly, guys, I don't know. I don't remember another match where Strakosha didn't do nothing. I really don't remember when Bologna getting a dangerous chance today. So that was really, really good to see, especially considering that Lazio didn't get a clean sheet for months. So this was the first clean sheet after a long period. So it's really good to have. I thought Ramos had a terrific match, and I'm not talking only because he scored the first goal in Serie A and made an assist for the second goal to Senad Lulic, but even defensive, I thought he played really, really well. Now, I saw someone saying, is this the turning point? Is this the point where Inzaghi after this performance of Ramos, make the final call and decide that Ramos is started and Wallace get relegated as an alternative on the bench, or not? I thought really Ramos played really well. He still have to improve. I thought a couple of times he won the tackle and then start running towards the opponent goal, and it's good to see a defender playing like that. but I think he has to improve when he has to give the ball away, because in the second half he did this and lost the ball at nearly the midfield and allowed Bologna to have a very dangerous counter-attack. Then luckily we had Leva back, and I thought Leva made a big difference for our team, and he recovered the ball, but that could be a very dangerous decision for Ramos. So he has to learn there to play better this role. But honestly, he's a great defender, and he has still a lot of improvement ahead of him. So I think with Acerbi near him, he really can become a really great defender. And I was thinking today, watching the match, and maybe it could be too much, but I really think that as a defender, Acerbi is better than De Vrij. De Vrij probably is a more complete player, better ball possession, better skill with the ball on his feet, but Acerbi, it's a better defender, I think. And again, we saw it today. So I thought, again, Ramos, first goal in Serie A and an assist. A terrific match for him. It was good to see Luis Alberto playing that well. But on the other side, Bologna is a very weak team, as I said before. I thought Lazio should have finished that match earlier, scored the second goal before the end of the match. And I think the reason why Lazio didn't score earlier, it was because they made too many mistakes. We saw Lulic making a couple of bad mistakes, and as well as the other. And that's something that Lazio cannot do against better team. Against Bologna, you can win and go without it, but against a top 6 team of the Serie A, that could be really dangerous. So one thing we have to improve is definitely making less mistakes, especially in the midfield. Today, I thought we weren't playing that great. And then I want to talk about Caicedo, because I honestly thought that Caicedo played so bad that Simone Inzaghi at a certain point said, okay, I have to put Immobile in, so we're going to play 11 against 11. I don't know if I'm too hard, but I really thought that, especially in the first half, Caicedo was pretty much invisible. It's true that he was playing for the first time in this position with Luis Alberto and Correa behind him, but it should be an advantage playing with two players so skilled behind you. It should create so many spaces for you. Instead, Caicedo didn't do pretty much nothing today, and I was surprised to see Immobile coming in, as we said that he wasn't well. He didn't train he missed the first 2 days of training. He trained yesterday with the team, but I thought really, maybe I'm exaggerating, but I really felt that Inzaghi was felt that he had to put Immobile in to play 11 against 11, and Caicedo obviously wasn't happy of getting out, but I really think that his performance was terrible, and these 3 points were so important that Lazio had to try everything to finish the match. And I think we all agree that with Immobile instead of Caicedo, Lazio had more chances to find the second goal. Even though I don't think we saw the real Ciro Immobile. I think he's not 100% fit, and so it was a risk to put in him, but I think it was necessary to get these 3 points. Let's not forget that now, with this victory against Bologna, Lazio's 3 points ahead of Milan, that it's at 28. Now the 5th position is of Sampdoria, who beat at home Chievo. Sampdoria, it's a tough team. We saw it. So I don't know if he's going to be fighting for the Champions League spot till the end. We remember even last year they started really, really well, and then at a certain point they pretty much gave up. So we're going to see. Atalanta was able to draw against Juventus. I don't understand the decision of Allegri of rotating all those players. Cristiano Ronaldo didn't start today against Atalanta. That is a very dangerous team. But yeah, Juventus nearly lost. And today there is Roma Sampdoria for who is listening to this podcast live. And the question is, what are you hoping for? Do you hope Sassuolo win, or maybe a draw, or Roma getting points? Because Sassuolo is 1 point ahead of Roma, and if they win, they will be at 28 like Milan in 6th place. So Sassuolo can become another opponent for this Champions League race. I don't know. But yeah, maybe a draw for me would be the best result for Lazio. And it's good that Fiorentina lost at home. Fiorentina is a very strange team. We saw them beating Milan last week, and then losing at home against Parma was a big surprise. But this team, as we said, is very young, and usually they have ups and downs. And this is just the proof of what we were saying. So I think it was, for the moment, it was a really good Saturday for Lazio, and it was a good performance. Now the question is, will Inzaghi keep playing with this tactic? I think there are a couple of things to say. It's a very offensive mind tactic, playing with a 3-4-2-1 with Milinkovic-Savic playing in central midfield position. But obviously with Leva back, then you have a player that is more defensive near him, and this can help definitely Lazio to have a more balanced team. And it's true that today Lazio was able to finish with the match with a clean sheet, but it was against Bologna. I think to make the final call, we have to see it against a bigger team, a stronger opponent. And obviously, next Saturday, it's going to be a tough match, because Lazio's playing against Torino. It's true that it's at home, but Torino, it's a tough team. It can put you a lot of pressure. And there's not that much of rest, because Lazio's playing the 29th, that is Saturday. Today is the 26th, so just 2 days before the match. So I don't know if there's going to be a massive rotation for Lazio, or Inzaghi will try and risk playing the same players again. I think they'll have to change something, because I don't believe Lazio will be able to play with the same players again. And then there's going to be the rest. Lazio is going to play next match the 20th of January against Napoli away. Very complicated match. So it's really good to get these 2 victories now, and hopefully another one against Torino would be massive to put a big gap in the Champions League spot race. Patrick Bowman saying that the more Roma loses, the better it is. I mean, on Sassuolo at 560 times. Honestly, I think that Roma would be the contender with AC Milan for the Champions League race till the end. I'm still not buying Sampdoria and Fiorentina and Sassuolo for the race of the Champions League spot. Atalanta is a little bit different. We saw them competing for the Europa League in the past 3 years now, so they have that experience. I think this is a weaker team, talking about Atalanta compared to the past years, but we have to say that Gasperini is a magician, because with the players he has available, he's able to transform them in very good team, and that is able to draw against against Juventus, and to be in the 7th place in this Serie A. So yeah, I agree that Roma probably is dangerous than Sassuolo. So, maybe seeing Sassuolo winning, even though it's at Rome. So it's going to be really difficult. And, Di Francesco's position is always at risk. So we're going to see if the Roma player will play for their manager or not. But again, it's really good to have this 3 points today against Bologna. I thought the start was a little bit rusty. Even last year, since Serie A introduced this Boxing Day match, I think last year was against Crotone. I thought the first half of Lazio against Crotone was really poor. Probably, the players have to get used to play on Boxing Day after Christmas, and maybe someone it wasn't focused on the match at the beginning. But after the first 10-15 minutes, Lazio dominated the match, and one of the difference compared to the previous performance of Lazio is that not only Lazio dominated in ball possession, but I thought that today we saw Lazio getting a lot of dangerous chances. I can remember not only the 2 goals, but Milinkovic-Savic had a chance, Correa had a couple of chances, Luis Alberto shot a couple of times from outside the box. Bologna's goalkeeper did a couple of good saves. So really, if the match would have finished 3 or 4-0, there would have been that much to say. I thought Lazio deserved the win, and finally we are looking a different team compared to 1 month ago. A team that is creating more chances, a team that's able to dominate the match. And the question is, do you think it's all due to Luis Alberto improving, playing much better and similar to last year, or it's the new tactic that Inzaghi adopted in the last 2 weeks? I think it's a little bit of both, but as Inzaghi said often, it's not the scheme that make the difference. Well, obviously it helps on my point of view, but are the players are making the difference. If they play like today, you can play even the 3-5-2 and still Lazio would have won it today. I'm really curious to see Correa and Luis Alberto play again together, because I think they're really dangerous, even though, as I said before, I didn't think Correa played that well today. I was expecting much more from him. It's true that Bologna is a team that tried to defend nearly with 11 players and then go on a counter-attack, so there weren't too many spaces for Correa, but I thought in the first half he made a couple of mistakes near the box that if he didn't make, Lazio could have scored. So again, after all, I would say that it's still very positive to get these 3 points, and I think at the same time it's positive to think that Lazio have still a lot of space for improvement. As I said, Correa didn't play well, Caicedo didn't play well. I want to see Ciro Immobile playing there. Milinkovic is improving in a position that isn't his. Well, he played there in Belgium, so he know a little bit, but Serie A, it's completely different from the Belgium league. So I think he can improve there. I like to see him playing more in a more attacking position, because I think inside the box he can be really dangerous, and so more often he's there, the more I think he can score and become a dangerous player. But after all, I think that Lazio played a real good team. Again, it's hard to say where the merits of Lazio players start and where the problems of Bologna made it look easier for Lazio, but I think it was good to see Lazio dominating a match like that today. Especially, and this is something we didn't talk about, often we saw in the past years Lazio failing to deliver after when they had the chance. And today, after the draw of Milan, Lazio had a big chance to put a bigger gap between Lazio and Milan. And often we remember performance matches so important that Lazio could have put a gap between the rivals, and they didn't deliver. Today, they did, and this is really positive. And as I said before, Boxing Days could be a tricky match. We saw Milan drawing against Frosinone without creating any chances. It's not that Frosinone put the bus in front of the goal and Milan dominated, attacking for 95 minutes. No, we saw Juventus drawing against Atalanta, Fiorentina losing at home. So, Boxing Day can be really dangerous. So it was good to see Lazio playing like that. It was good to see Strakosha, who pretty much didn't do nothing. And one thing I wanted to talk about is we often talk about Marusic. I put an extra eye on him today, and I thought the problem with Marusic is he does something well but doesn't finish it. So if you see, he a couple of times did a dribble pass, very positive, and then he missed the cross or put it directly out, or was forced to or has been tackled before he could cross. It's a shame because, maybe he dribbled past the defender and then he's not able to finish the cross and create a good chances. So I think he's another player who can improve a lot. But yeah, he needs to finish things when he does. When he has the ball, he needs to finish it. Instead, maybe he dribbled past the defender and then the cross is terrible. So he needs to put the two things together to have a very good performance. But overall, I thought it was a really, really good match for Lazio, and it's really important. And we're gonna see what happened for with the other teams playing later. And Saturday there's a very important match. There's Torino, Lazio-Torino. Torino's playing later against Empoli at home. And, it would be good to have another performance like this with Lazio. Now we have to see how Lazio players are physically after this performance, and focus again on the next match. I think if you don't have any other questions, we can wrap it up here. Again, I hope you had an amazing Christmas, and I hope this victory of Lazio created your Boxing Day, made you happier in this Boxing Day, and don't eat too much. And we're gonna talk next Sunday, to talk about Lazio Torino, a very, very important match. Again, thank you for listening, and Forza Lazio as always.
Come on, you eagles, there's no time to fear. Up there's an angel watching